Hi, I'm Jeremy. Welcome to our farm, Cornucopia Orchards.
Our sawhorses were a success, and our paint sprayer did a good job. Though the blinding white of the sun made it to where I couldn't see very well where I was spraying too light or where there was speckling going on. I tried, but touch-ups will be needed on the trim. We're catching most of that when I cut out trim to length for the windows, doors, and the bandboard, and correcting it when we paint the cut ends. We're also correcting the sides of the boards. Spraying the way we did definitely didn't catch all the sides. Still, we saved countless hours with the sprayer, and the coat does look very even to the grain. I'm working to finish the lower windows and doors today, which I have not been pre-assembling with screws and glue, but I think for all the upper windows, and maybe the frames around the porch door and windows, it would be nice to put them up as one piece. By the end of the day, we'll be more than halfway done with our 37 windows and 4 doors on this house. Let's go.
We are starting a window and a door frame.
That's right. We've got a Kreg jig, and we are going to attach these pre-assembled, and I think that's going to give us a really nice fit together. So Clark, you ready to jump on in? Come on over, bud.
Your earbuds.
Oh, we don't need them for this. Come on over.
Don't worry, I'm gonna put the earphones on.
Oh, you're going to use my earplugs?
Yeah.
So don't push them in very far.
Oopsie, cut off.
Okay, when you're ready,
Ready.
go for
1,
it.
2, 3, 2.
Now, let's do the other side. I'm going to put those over there so they don't get tangled, okay? You don't want them to get tangled around the drill. It's kind of hard for someone your size to wear earplugs.
Yeah. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Drill!
Okay.
Ready for anything.
Okay, step on that. Step on this. Keep that nice and tight and flushed. Clark, here we go. We not that piece. It's this one this time. Remember? Ready to do the first one? You remember? Wait till Daddy says it's good to go. All right, go ahead.
1, 2, 3, 2.
Okay, you gotta stop sooner than that. Okay, that's nice and tight, I think.
There.
Okay.
I'd say that's good against any weather.
Okay, so no, I don't. Your knee is too close. Watch out for that knee. You don't want to put any body part near the business. With these, you want to make sure you get the material out. See all that stuff still in there? You got to pull the drill back out again. Okay. push it in too hard. You want to do this one too?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Keep going. Oh boy. Shall we try standing it up, Clarky?
Ready.
Okay, here we go. Oh. That look like that's going to be a door and a window trim?
Yeah.
Ah, pretty good job. That's going to cover up really nice. I do need to do a little bit of paint work on this.
All right, so this window is not 100% perfectly square. So I'm trying to do the best I can here. Got enough for a caulk line the whole way around. You can see that part of this is definitely 3/8, and then this corner it's not going to be. That's okay. Down below we do have more than a quarter, probably not quite 3/8, but this side's definitely 3/8, and ready to get this set up. So this is the most important point to me because everything else is hinging off of the center assembly. So that's where we're going to start.
Wherever there's an up, there must be a down.
Very good, Clarky.
Whoa, that's why I want
Yeah. Yes, indeed, that is.
There.
Oh boy.
We need those in there. I'll leave you those strings there.
We're going to use a little construction adhesive on this one. And I've just got some heavy duty liquid nails for this. I'm going to start with the center one. And I don't know that there's any real particular rhyme or reason to needing to start with the center one. Other than that, I noted that this board or the other board are slightly bowed. It's just the way they came to me. I checked the measure. All of these are the same measure for height. However, there's a gap on that end versus the middle on this side. And this isn't seesawing, it's the same size. So we're going to start with this middle piece and kind of go from there. We're going to use pocket screws as well, same as on the other one. And I'm just going to apply a little bit, not a lot. This is exterior grade, so it should work just fine. Basically, it's just going to click a little bit. That glue's going to squish. I am going to make sure it didn't come out the other side. And just kind of do that with my fingers. Reason being, I don't want it to adhere to the floor. That would be bad. So I'm just going to scrape the other side there. And that feels pretty good as far as flush. So we're done with that, and we're going to keep going and knock out the rest of these here. Same thing, I did pre-mark both the bottom and the top, make sure I had it exactly where I wanted it to be relative to the windows. So we should be good to get this assembled. So let's see how she sets up here. Make sure this will actually work before I do any further stuff on it here. Looks like it should go on pretty good. We have obviously no gap at the top and way too much at the bottom. Let's get some shim sets here underneath at the corners. Ever so slightly low relative to the bottom. This corner could come up and it'd be fine. Although boy howdy, like not even a 16th, like a 32nd or a 16th at most. But that's I think all we need to get that pretty much level. Well, that's golden. Center line looks pretty decent. Before we can start nailing off this edge, our glue hasn't set yet. Our cure time is 24 hours, which is fine. There are screws there as well, but I'd like to make sure that we have this adequately shimmed where we're going to put a nail. So we'll get our nail gun and then we're going to go ahead and shim. And I think we'll start with one of these top corners. Look at this thing. I think I found a screw. Just have to pull that and try again. All right, so not too bad. A little bit tight right there. A little bit loose on that side compared to that side. Good in the center. A little bit tight, a little bit loose. And on this side, loose right through here. Otherwise, pretty good. Nice, ready to go, easy. All done on that. So now we just got to buzz and caulk. Buzz and caulk. You know, that sounds like a hipster brewery up in Portland. Anyway. We did end up with aluminum pre-painted white flashing this time, which is nice, the Z flash, and I think it'll transition much better into the trim board material of the rim boards as well as of these windows and doors. And there's a story to that. It has to do yet again with a mistake on an order, and it's been May, but sure, we shouldn't have the materials that we ordered in May yet. Anywho, I want to show you guys something with the flashing because I just think it's super smart, and this is something that I am blatantly stealing from Kyle from RR Buildings, and he does any metal work better for sure than I would ever do. So check him out. But let me show you what I'm doing for this flashing over these windows and doors. So I'm going to cut our stick first, get it to length. In this case, we're 81 7/8. This is your standard profile, right? For the Z flash. If any water were magically to blow in the opposite direction of prevailing winds and weather,
from the east, which does happen maybe, I don't know, 2 weeks out of 365 days in a year here. And if it were to blow it up at such a gale force horizontally through the trees that it could get up behind here, or more likely, let's say we're washing the siding off, the water should come down off of the wall, hit this, and then drop out in front, right? It's not meant, the trim is not meant for water to be pooled standing on top of it. It's a wood product. It's a good wood product, but it's wood. And so we're going to make sure that's protected properly. And we're gonna bend this piece up to create a spot where if water were to run down on this piece, it's gonna hit that end and then come out the front instead of coming off of the sides. So let me show you what that looks like. So I mentioned before that this is an 81 7/8 inch trim piece we're covering, and we actually needed to add 3/8 and 3/8 to each side of that. So that's what this cut is. And the reason for that is that's where we're going to get our dam. And because over the top of windows and doors, we're supposed to have a 3/8. We're going to cut that line on the bottom. We don't have to get rid of it. We can fold it up. Gets rid of that sharp edge. And we're going to take our metal folding tool here and just grab that real hard and bend it up. Now what we have here, you can see, is we've got a nice dam here. That water is going to hit this and come right out. And the Smartside siding, this is 3/8, and so that's the spacing up that they want off of this flashing. So it could just sit right on top of that and you're good to go. Check and make sure this is exactly what I want, which it's perfect. So we're going to go ahead and get that bad boy installed. That nail is not going to work. Check this guy out. Ever get one of those boxes of nails where you find 3 screws and 5 different sizes of nails? Always find that fascinating. How does that happen at the factory, you know? Very, very curious. Now, just the same as any of our other flashings, we're going to go ahead and get this taped with our zip tape. Now, in my opinion, like whenever you're working with something like this, you know, it's redundancies is what you're looking for. And in this particular case, unlike elsewhere, you can see there is a fair amount of space between the siding and the top trim. Most everywhere on this building, it's the top trim is right up to the soffits, which is caulked together. And the only reason you're going to have a leak in that assembly is if it leaked through the roof above, and that's a whole different issue. So I'm not doing head flashings on those situations, and I am doing them here, even though we are under a substantial overhang. So it's a 7-foot out overhang. There's never going to be any water that I don't spray up there, or the kids or Casey don't spray up in there to just clean off the siding. And so such an occasional intrusion of water is, you know, not going to cause any issues even without it. But it is technically correct, and just in case there's a squall, we'll go ahead and do it right. The main thing that will always protect your windows and doors is sufficient overhang of the roof. And this house has multiple roof lines, even though its peak is very simple. It's just, you know, a simple 10 on 12 and 10 on 12. There's nothing else to it. But there are multiple roofs that come lower than that, and I think it's really smart. It helps protect all of your investment in your home by making sure this type of thing is basically irrelevant. If you have a good roof, this won't matter. And if you don't have a good roof, then you're in deep trouble with any house. One more thing I want to mention about these trim and flashings is that you want adequate overlap on the flashing with the tape, and you do not want to be able to see the tape in this gap, because you don't caulk this. You don't want to see it when you have that 3/8 inch gap between your siding, in the case of Smartside, and it's not packed with caulk. So you got to be careful and make sure that it's up a little bit higher. I think the back leg on these is 2 or 2.5 inches, so it's plenty of room for you to get good tape contact. So I'm finishing out up here, up high, and Casey is working on getting a nice line on the door. That is not something my unsteady hand is capable of. And it's not like I'm old. I am old, but it's not like I'm old. It's just I've always been that way. Casey has more of an artist's touch and an artist's hand, so she's getting a nice line on the caulk for the door jamb, and then we'll be able to come back through and touch up the paint. So what are you doing to make it that nice?
It's just about knowing your tool. It's probably taken me a decade to figure out how to use this simple little tool, but this is the right application for it, and you have to figure out what angle you're going for, and then it helps with an acrylic caulk, which is what I'm using on here. It's acrylic latex. If you get it wet, you wouldn't think so, but just dipping it in a bowl of water eliminates the line that you tend to get on the side otherwise, and you just drag it down. It gives you a really nice clean finish on there, because every time you have to go back with the rag along the edge, you end up messing it up. So the cleaner you can get it the first time, the better, and water on the edge of this helps.
Very nice.
Thanks for watching,
Subscribe for more.
and see you next time.